Good morning. Welcome back to ProSeek Training Center. And in today's session, we are going to learn about important vulnerability assessment tool called as Nessus. Now, to begin with, let me show you one of the most popular website, job seekers website, Naukri.com. And when I look for cybersecurity jobs, now, there are various jobs which are available related to cyber security. You can see here as many as nearly 1900 jobs at this moment of various experience levels now. Now, one among them is again, even a fresher, 0 to 3 lakhs is 147. Now, what is the common point in all these jobs? Well, basically one important skill, that is our Nessus skill. Now, if I look at the first one, okay, so this one is from IBM, Bangalore. Okay, so although it is saying that 5 to 10 years, but what is the common thing? They are basically looking for somebody who has an idea, a required technical and professional expertise in Nessus. Nessus is one among the various tools which is mandatory in any type of a cybersecurity professional job. I'm not talking about something which is like you want to become a hacker and show off to your friends, not like that. I'm talking about a career. Okay, and this is from IBM. Now let me go to another big organization, Capgemini. So even Capgemini vulnerability management, again here various locations, and again one common tool, primary skills is Tenable Nessus tool. Any one tool they are asking for it. Okay, Rapid 7 we are also teaching Metasploitable, and then we are also trying to cover Qualys tool here. And the tools which we cover in our training course are Nessus tool, Rapid 7's Metasploitable tool, mandatory. Every student who has or who is undergoing training with us in cybersecurity will get this training. And then Accenture, another example here you can see one of the top companies in India. Again, one of the important skills required technical experience is Nessus. All right, so wouldn't it be important for anyone who is learning cybersecurity to actually learn these skills? Because at ProSeek Training Center, we focus on what exactly is needed by the industry, and we give training only on those skills and not wasting any student's time. Absolutely. Today we see there are many other places where they focus on certifications. They focus on the skills which are not even used on the real job. So when we speak to a lot of managers, recruiting managers in these companies, they say only one thing: we just want to have somebody experience in these tools. Even if he is a fresher, that is still fine, because they should have an idea about what this tool does and where to go and how to start it. At least that idea they must have, so that anyway they are going to have some training for a week or two, and then they will be going up. All right, so today's session is a demo of what this Nessus tool is all about. Now Nessus is a product from Tenable. Tenable is one of the most popular vendors who has security tools, and not only that, apart from security tools, they have also other monitoring tools, SIEM tools, those things. So today we speak about Nessus. So Nessus is available in various versions, and if you look at the hardware requirements for installation, well, you can go here and you can see the hardware requirement. So if you are somebody who want to try out Nessus, then I would recommend you to install this in a standalone machine. If it is a network, if you are a network engineer who want to try out these tools, so my recommendation, don't install this in a VM. So it takes a lot of storage space. It needs a lot of bandwidth. At least 1 gigabit Ethernet connection is required here, and even the RAM requirement is at least, even though they say the minimum requirement is 8 GB, but I would recommend at least 16 GB of RAM for this, for a better performance. And yes, the core as well octa-core machine is required. They say quad core, but I will say octa-core machine is required if you want to scan more than 50,000 hosts per scan here. All right. So what does it do exactly? So let me take you to the tool itself. All right. So this I have installed in my virtual box because I'm not in my LAN row. So for so here I have this Kali Linux, and I have installed in the Kali Linux Linux version of Nessus tool. So installation is pretty straightforward, nothing fancy in that. You can look at the documentation and you can install that. Once you install, you will have the screen like this. I mean, you have to start the Nessus. You can go ahead and start the Nessus in the services terminal, and then HTTPS localhost port number 8834 is the service port to which this is installed on. Then again you have to create a username and a password while you are doing the installation. So once you log in, this is the actual console screen you will see. Okay, so I have done one scan already for you just to show you, because it is going to take a lot of time to perform a scan right now. So I have one machine which is intentionally made vulnerable machine, Metasploit. So this Nessus scanner has scanned the machine and it has found out a lot of vulnerabilities. Okay, so and it has given a rating and criticality for the vulnerabilities as well. This is really important. So whenever you are doing a penetration testing, you should be able to segregate the vulnerabilities into various categories, like which one are immediately need attention and which one do not need an attention. Maybe a precaution should be good enough for those things. So criticality is rating is really important. So you can see here, out of 49 vulnerabilities in total, 8 are said to be critical vulnerabilities here. So if I click on that, so you can see the critical vulnerabilities listed here. So critical on the top, then mixed, then high, and then low, and most of the other things are like information. Maybe information is like, let us say you are no longer need to use this service unnecessarily, it is open, or maybe you have to shut down these things, something like that. And then here we can see, for example, if I take one critical vulnerability, if I click on this bind shell backdoor detection. So if I click on the bind shell backdoor detection, basically backdoor is a critical vulnerability which will leave a port open for somebody to log in without any authorization. That is a bind shell backdoor. So Nessus automatically detects these kind of vulnerabilities, and not only detecting, it is also going to show you the output of what it has done. So this one is like your penetration tester. It is doing the basic job of a penetration testing and showing you what it can do. So here we can see it has already logged in into the root of that target machine, and it has identified that it has got a root access by giving some command here, like id command here. And then the port number which is vulnerable is 1524 port. Okay, and this is the IP address of that particular machine. So anybody who can access this machine, if he is able to identify that this port is open, then immediately he can attempt to break into this machine. So this criticality has to be addressed with. So solution also it is given: verify if the remote host has been compromised and reinstall the system if necessary. And not only that, on the right side we can see the criticality version, and then backdoor, what kind of a criticality it is, and when it was published and when it was modified. And then you can also see the scoring here. So it is 9.8 score under CVSS. CVSS scoring is basically a scoring which is given to vulnerabilities. So 9 is really critical, and then we can see the base score as 10 here, right? So if you go back again, we can see one more vulnerability. So here we can see VNC server password. Then again, Nessus logged in using a password as the default name as password. This is the worst thing which can actually happen to any machine. So when we scan a network, maybe you are not scanning the network of the company which you are working itself, because you may be working for a cyber security service providing company. So you may be scanning the machines which are in the client's place. Okay, and you have to generate some kind of a report also, because this is the POC, proof of concept, that you have done some scanning. All right, so here Nessus also provides us to ready-made report as well. You can have the report in PDF format, HTML format, or a CSV format. Okay, and then you can even click on this and it will going to generate a report, executive summary, or you can say custom summary, that you can see the data, vulnerabilities, and then you can see synopsis, description, solution, risk factor, and then the base course and everything, and then you can generate a report. Usually after we complete a penetration testing, we manually write the reports, but this is going to give us a rough idea about what to write. Alright, so Nessus has this report generation available. So as a professional, you must know how to do this. So I'm going to cancel this out, and let me go back to explain to you the UI of this one. Now the version of the Nessus which I'm using is Nessus Essentials. Okay, and here we have different types of scans. On the left side I can create groups for the scans, and to create a new scan I will have to click here in the new scan, and then it has got a predefined templates. That is the beauty of this tool. Okay, so for example, if you are concerned only about host discovery, you can simply click this host discovery, and then it is not going to do a thorough scan, but it is only going to discover the host, a simple scan here. So all I have to do is give a name to this scan. Let me say like test scan. Description, in description usually I will give the LAN or the department or the customer I am scanning this on, and I'll put on the folder. I can create one more, every folder separately for each and every customer. So let me create one here, and then the target IP address I will give here. So I can give a target as 192.168 dot, this is my LAN IP address, and then I can say scan the entire LAN, or you can upload the targets into a file and then save this one. Now this is going to be saved. So here we have saved this in the folder. So here you can see our test scan. On the left side we have different folders, as I told you. So every customer you can create one folder, or every department you can create a folder, so whenever you are scanning. And this by default this is on demand scan. On demand scan is basically you can run the scan whenever you need it, or you can schedule the scan if you want. So scheduling is easy. All you have to do is click this calendar, configure, schedule, enable, frequency. You want to do it daily, what time do you want to do, what time zone you want this to be applied to. Alright, and then select the time zone, and then repeat every day at what time. And again notifications, if you go here, so every scan you can after the scan you can send the report of that result of that scan to an email address. So maybe SOC analyst SOC1 at abc.com. Okay, obviously here you will have to mention configure the SMTP server. Okay, so if there is a customer, then the customer's SMTP server details you will have to get it, right? And then uh, notifications, this is the notifications part, and then save this one. Okay, so back to the scan report, back to the main folder. We will run the scan now. I'm launching this scan. So while this scan is doing its job, so you can see the scan is running here. We can see this stop button, that means it is running in the background. So I can go to new scan. I'll just show you here what other options we have here while that scan is running, and simultaneously we can run multiple scans as well. So it depends all again upon the server configuration what we have here. So again we have for this is host discovery scan which I'm running in the backend at this moment, and then basic network scan you can run, and advanced scan, okay, advanced dynamic scan, malware scan. If you are trying to find out any type of a malware which is existing in your network. Now mobile device scan, you need to upgrade this software. Now upgradation of this software is really easy. All you will have to pay some money to the cost of this software. By the way, if you are somebody who is watching this video and you are a person who is responsible for procuring things, then Nessus Tenable is available in various versions here. You can various versions you can see here. The one which we are using today is Nessus Essential, so we can scan up to 16 IPs, the free downloads. Mostly this is used for training purpose, that's what we say. And then professional version, you can scan unlimited IP addresses, and this one is approximately I think about so 1 year, 2,990 US dollars, and with support you get about 3,990, which I think it's about 2 lakhs 20,000 rupees per year, this one. Okay, so that's the cost of this tool. Most of the enterprises, as we have seen earlier, they already have this with them, because it gives a lot of business value to them. And then you can also see compliance audits we can do. Let's say an organization is wanted to perform you an audit for them. Audit for what? Audit for some compliance. Which compliance? PCI compliance. So you have this ready-made scan for them. Just run the scan, generate a report, and give it to them. Of course, you will have to verify and cross-check these reports. You cannot just believe on one tool and give it to them. That is the reason we need a skilled professional. That is the reason we need a training on how to use these tools. Okay, so yeah, so this is what Nessus can actually do, and this is what we train to the students. So every student who enrolls with us, they have to learn this tool, Nessus Metasploitable tools, which are in demand, of course, always by industry. Not only training these tools, we also train them in basic networking. That is how they begin, basic operating system, and what is kernel, what are the services, what is port, what are the different types of important ports which can become vulnerable, how to identify a vulnerability, how to exploit a vulnerability, and web application penetration testing, how to identify injections like a SQL injection or a cross-site scripting. So these things are taught at a ProSeek training center, and then we are going to start a new batch very soon. So please call the numbers below, or you can message us in this Facebook. After the end of the video you can message, and yeah, so this is going to take some time. As I have already told you, Nessus depends upon the RAM and also upon the bandwidth speed. So it may take at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes time also to run a complete scan here. That is the reason most of the scans are scheduled during off business hours for a particular target. Usually our targets will be server machines because they contain the critical resources of our organizations. So understanding these vulnerabilities, understanding the report, why vulnerability is there, and what to do in case of vulnerability, okay, how to patch this vulnerability, these things are important. Okay, so that's all for today's session. So I think this is done. Just let me check if it has found anything. So yeah, so here it can see it is done quickly today. So there are a few machines which it has identified. The total number of hosts we can see 4 are identified, 56.114.113 and 56.1 a Windows Server 2012, and it has also identified some ports on Windows 2012 here, and then totally some basic vulnerability verification it has done. This one I think it is on the Windows machine. Yeah, critical vulnerability Metasploit. So here it can exploitable with the Metasploit. It is also saying which one, and here is the IP address 56.113. I'll go back and check. 56.113 is a Linux machine, not a Windows machine. It was Linux machine. The vulnerability here. Okay, and the scan time when it has run and all those things. Okay, so don't forget that this is a skill which is needed, not hacking somebody's Facebook account, not hacking somebody's Gmail account. Those are not going to make you a professional. You want to be a professional, you have to learn all the professional tools. There is no other way to get a way through this cyber security. All right, thank you very much.